And it is 7:21 on your Friday morning. It's October the 10th. Rise and Shine Show on News Talk 1290 and newstalk1290.com. Mike Hendren here with Terry McAdams from Max Tech Solutions. He joins us every Friday morning live here in the studio. Of course, you hear Terry's Tech Minute each weekday morning, Monday through Thursday at 7:50 a.m. and afternoons at 4:30 here on News Talk 1290. And you can access him online, too. Terry, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program this morning. How's things going in your world, brother?
Well, we're busy and having fun.
That's a good way to have it.
Our new guy, Greg, is doing well, and he's happy to be there and enjoying being back home.
You guys are actually opening on Saturdays again now.
We are. That's a little scheduling challenge sometimes, but because we're all rotating through in the schedule and work on Saturdays, and then we got to figure out a day off, and you have to do it the same week, because then if it pushes into the next week, then they get shorted one week but get overtime the next week. So it's it's the
of course the reality is when you're the business owner, days off are a rare thing anyway, aren't they?
Right. Well, yeah.
We're pretty much on duty 24/7. So
well, and usually the only time we get called in if there's something going on is if there was a break-in. But we haven't had one here. We've got a nice big gate that goes up that stays there.
You're in a nice place over here in Parker Square between Ganache and Holder's Jewelers.
If they drive the car through, then
let's hope they don't do that.
But anyway, so we're having fun though. That's the main thing.
Well, there's lots of tech chatter out there these days. All kinds of things happening with Apple, of course. But what do you got on tap for us today? What's on the radar today?
Well, I was going to talk about, or I am going to talk about, what happens if and when something happens to your little device or your big device, your computer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it gets dropped or it's damaged with water, which is common. Mm-hmm. What do you do about that kind of thing in a case of a catastrophe?
Right.
Well, the first thing you do is make sure your stuff is backed up beforehand, before anything
the disaster,
like that. Exactly. Especially your phones. Make sure that you use your backup software.
Right.
Whether on Android or on your iPhone. Make sure that stuff is backed up. And then same with your computer. Make sure you have a backup software and or a cloud-type backup service.
Right.
But after that, if things are going along and suddenly somebody spills a beer on your laptop, we've had beer. We've had all kinds of things happen. Animals have relieve themselves on electronics.
I've heard of that one too, which is disgusting.
Yes.
Especially cats. Oh, they stink so bad.
So
what is, I mean, if you, of course, backing it up, that's logically the easiest way to recover what you had on the computer, all your data. But if you say you don't back it up, is there any way possible to get the information
Well,
back?
Generally, a laptop, obviously the laptop seems to be the most risk, although we've seen some desktop towers and, of course, iMacs that are all in one units. We've had them have something happen to them. Generally, it's fires that we're worried about there. Not usually falling off of anything. But the hard drive generally survives. It usually survives any sort of damage, whether it's a drop or otherwise. Now, sometimes a drop is so severe that it actually damages the hard drive. The liquid spills usually don't get in and do that, but you never know. And really what it comes down to is really it's your mobile device, your iPads, your mobile phones. Those are the things that are vulnerable to the data loss usually in that case. But that's not an excuse not to back up.
Now, is that because of the method with which they store them? The data?
Right, because no, it's the way they're built.
Okay.
Because they're built as one module, one electronic, like a motherboard. It's the memory and everything's all on that.
Because obviously with a phone, you don't have a hard drive the way you would at a traditional computer.
Right.
So
everything's stored in a flash memory chip.
Right.
Which is soldered to the board, and if the board doesn't power up, which is usually what happens, then you're in trouble. So let's say it's a liquid spill. So the main thing there is get the thing turned off as quickly as possible, whether it's the computer or the mobile device.
Right.
And then make sure that, now putting it in rice, that kind of thing, and that's water is usually the thing that helps the rice helps get rid of water. When you have other liquids, it's not so helpful.
And I was going to bring that up. And can you kind of explain to us, number one, does that really work? Number two, how does that work?
Apparently, it has some desiccant effect.
Yeah.
It absorbs the moisture, and you go from there. Mobile phones will sometimes, after some period of time, 24 hours, 48 hours in rice or whatever, or just simply drying out, and will actually be able to turn on. I mean, I don't have any percentages to tell you, but we do see them. One of our customers just dropped it in the lake a few weeks ago, his iPhone 4S, and fired it back up, and he's ordered in an iPhone 6 now, but he's but he was lucky. But usually there's something wrong. There's an image that there's some sort of remnant, weird-looking image on the screen, or it doesn't work at all, or the speakers are messed up, or it just doesn't feel right. And so there's, so anyway, so on a mobile phone, the only thing you do is maybe put it in rice, but get it to us, but turn it off. That's the first thing. Let it sit for 24 to 48 hours, and maybe even in a warm place, because that'll help evaporate the liquid.
Now, you actually are an authorized iPhone repair center now.
Yes.
So if you drop your iPhone in the pool or something,
we can get it replaced.
You can handle that for them.
Exactly.
So.
And keep in mind now, anytime there's liquid involved, it's a lost cause for the most part.
Really?
If it works, you're lucky, and enjoy it while it works, because quite often they'll just end up dying. On a screen drop or a screen break, if you drop it and the screen cracks, then usually it survives and it's operational, but a lot of times you got to just be careful of the glass shards that result. Sometimes the glass starts falling apart and things like that. But get that into us. Now, if it's an Android, I'm sorry I can't help you with that, but if it's, of course, an iPhone, we can take care of that.
I know
for you.
people, honestly, seriously, I know people that have broken 3-4 cell phones in a row. And usually what happens is they put it in their back pocket and they sit on it. And they bust the screen.
Or they bend it.
Or they bend it. I'm like, what? Why are you doing this?
And then there's skinny jeans.
Exactly. How do you keep breaking them over and over again?
First off, why are you in skinny jeans?
Yeah, well.
Especially if you're a guy. Yeah, exactly. But I don't understand how they can tear them up so much. But now, as far as the computers, now I know we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The hard drives, the traditional actual hard drive that's a separate component inside the computer that has a little disc in it, I guess.
Spins at 5,400 or 7,200 RPM.
Then now you've got the
solid state
drives that have, I guess, no moving parts.
Exactly.
Do those fare any better under these damaging conditions than a traditional hard drive? If you're looking for durability,
physical abuse, yes. That absolutely they will survive that much better than a hard drive.
Right.
Although hard drives are pretty good these days. They've got the factor, is what I call it. When you drop something, or if you feel like you're falling, you breathe in. Well, that's what happens with these newer hard drives, is they pull the read-write heads from the surface of the disk, so that when it does have an impact, because usually if there's some sort of gravity, some sort of force of a drop, then obviously that's when the physical impact to the disk actually happens, so it pulls the heads off.
I see.
But anyway, but yes, overall though, they are more reliable, but they do fail. Don't think that they're not going to fail at some point, because there is a life to them, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They can only be written to several million times.
Right.
So, they do eventually wear out, believe it or not. But anyway, so on a laptop, if something happens, the same thing. Turn it off.
Right.
If it's a liquid, especially. Turn it off. Immediately bring a laptop into us, because the longer they sit, the more likely it is to leak in and work its way into the hard drive, which we don't want. We want to get that out as soon as possible, so that your data can be recovered.
Right.
And then we can take it apart sometimes and clean it up quickly. A phone is just unfortunate. They're just so small, and it's better just to replace them.
And there are companies out there that can recover data from damaged hard drives, but it's
very expensive.
Very expensive.
Anywhere from $600 to $2,000 or more.
Yeah.
to get that replaced.
We went through that here a few years ago, and it was a $2,500 process to recover the data, which
right,
and
expensive
then there's
equipment.
no guarantees that they're going to be able to get it all
Exactly.
either. So it's kind of a roll of the dice, basically.
Right.
So whether it's going to work.
So back up.
back up.
Yes. If I haven't hit that enough over the last couple of years, then you've not been listening.
You got to pay attention. Terry McAdams, MacTech Solutions here in Parker Square between Ganache and Holders Jewelers. And
thing
you got.
real quick.
I was gonna say you got something you wanted to announce real quick here.
Right. The Better Business Bureau invited me to come in and provide a little talk on some topic, and we talked we've talked about before as passwords.
Right.
How do you manage that?
Right.
And then also security in general. And so today at noon at the Better Business Bureau, I'll be presenting a workshop, if you will, that we've called Access Granted ... but for whom?
Right.
And so if you're keeping your passwords on a Word document or something like that,
Yeah.
it's probably not the best thing to do.
No, not a lot of security there, folks. MacTech Solutions between Ganache and Holders Jewelers here in Parker Square. Terry, give me your phone number and how to find you online as well.
940-767-6227. And you can go to our website, mactech-solutions.com.
Right.
Of course, there is also Facebook. We know that little place that we go to.
Been there a time or two.
Yeah, so it's MacTech Solutions Apple Specialist. If you search that, you'll see it and sign up. And we post some things like I hope to post the video from this morning up there here pretty quick.
If everything works
Yes.
according to plan, yes.